What's up, people? I'm Shaggy, the Opinionated Hippie, and today I'm going to start a new series, a deep dive into Weird Al Yankovic's studio release catalog discography. Because I don't have enough ongoing things going on in this channel, I'm going to add one more. But I'm doing this because over the weekend, like the rest of the world, I discovered that Dr. Demento, the king of novelty music, is going to retire. I did not know he was still active. I don't know if he has an actual radio show, if it's online, if it's syndicated. I am surprised by this. But he has decided to hang it up. And I know that my own musical taste, that probably my sense of humor, that a lot of the things that I like musically were probably influenced by listening to Dr. Demento back in the 70s and early 80s on radio in Los Angeles. My parents listened to Dr. Demento, my sister and I every Sunday night. He had a 4-hour show from 6 to 10. If we could find a reason to, we would listen to all 4 hours. But no matter what, we always listened to the last hour, which was the top 10. Dr. Demento is the first place I heard Frank Zappa, Titties and Beer, the one with the pickle. Shoot, where's your pickle? The lady in my audience is, hey, Dale, what are you doing with my pickle? This nice man wants to know what you're doing with my pickle. It's the first time I ever heard Frank Zappa, was Titties and Beer. So I know some Weird Al just because he's huge, in pop culture. The only album I've ever heard is the one I'm going to talk about today, just because I just know I re-listened to this for the first time just right now. I have not listened to this album in decades, probably 4 decades. I know most of these songs because they were played on Dr. Demento, even the ones that aren't like the actual parodies. Dr. Demento would play them. That's where Weird Al got his start on Dr. Demento. He recorded My Baloney, the My Sharona Takeoff, My Bologna, or My Bologna. Yeah, because it's Sharona. Duh. In the bathroom, I think. Oh, no, he recorded that in the bathroom of his college, and then he recorded Another One Rides the Bus actually in the Dr. Demento studio there at the radio station. So I thought I would do a deep dive because I don't know any of the other albums. I've seen him live. I do know that song CNR. He played the Fun Fest here in Austin, 15 years ago. So saw him do that. He came off the stage at one point to sing to the audience, and my wife absolutely hates when people do that. She doesn't want to be anywhere near them, and he walked pretty much, we always like to stand right in front of the soundboard at places. It just sounds good. It's usually a little more space. He made it all the way back there and came right up to her, and she was horrified. Does not like that. But so I got to see Weird Al really up close. I know all the big hits. I do know that song CNR because it's about Charles Nelson Riley, and Charles Nelson Riley is a god. If you want to watch some of the funniest TV ever, go watch Match Game on YouTube. They have all the old ones. Make sure Charles Nelson Riley is on there because the man is a genius. But anyways, I'm going to do every album just because I've never heard them. I want to get to know them, see what they're like. And so, yeah, we're going to start off today with the debut. We'll go forward. I'm going to rank them, see which one's the best. Also, there is a couple Frank Zappa connections. On this first one, he mentions dental floss. Hey, we got a dental floss reference. But I also know Weird Al does do a Frank Zappa parody at one point. It's called Genius in France. Dweezil plays on it. I don't think it's a takeoff on an actual Zappa song, just the general musical idea of Frank, I think. And it's mixed with like a Jerry Lewis parody, I think, the lyrics, Genius in France, because that's where Jerry Lewis was considered a genius. But I don't know. We'll get to that eventually. But anyways, let's start with his debut album. Came out in 1983. Rick Derringer produced this, which just kind of blew my mind a little bit. And he actually plays guitar on it. That actually blew my mind a little bit also. There's accordion on every track. This has a very, not underground, but this is my first album. I'm a guy, some radio DJ who plays novelty songs discovered. This is my album. It feels like that. There are on here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 parody songs. There's a 6th that's not a parody of an actual song, but in the style of somebody that he actually liked as an artist. the original material, and my understanding going forward is I think all of his albums are pretty much close to 50% original, 50% parodies, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere around there. That's kind of what it is here. Opens up with Ricky, which is a riff on Tony Basil's Mickey. I Love Lucy. Lyrics are pretty good. They reference their real lives. They reference episodes from the TV show. It actually ends with the theme song from I Love Lucy. Another Frank Zappa connection is he dropped that, and you can hear him do that in The Torture Never Stops on the Best Band You Never Heard in Your Life, or also on Long Island, the Long Island show. The last US show, that release. What is the name of that? The Last US, that's a weird name, whatever that is. The Last US Show, is that what it's called, from 1988? What is that release? It's a pretty interesting release. But it's a good start. I mean, it's a good parody. He's doing kind of an impersonation. It's a duet with a cartoon voice actress who does Lucy's voice. Pretty good, some good references. Gotta Boogie is next. It's got this like 50s-esque Conga rock vibe, and the first 8 lines are gotta boogie, gotta boogie, gotta boogie, and then he gets to the joke, and it's like gotta boogie on my finger, and I can't get it off. I'm a no on this song. I Love Rocky Road is next. I love rock and roll, but it's about ice cream. Pretty good. Somebody's playing musical hands on it, where they make the little squishy farty noises with their hands. That's kind of one of the percussive elements of this song. Interesting parody. Next is a song called Buckingham Blues, which is like a mannish boy type blues song. Apparently, I just learned, it was originally going to be a parody of Jack and Diane, the John Cougar Mellencamp, or John Cougar song, but apparently they were going to make a movie out of Jack and Diane, and Cougar didn't want to mess that up, so he said no. So it's about Charles and Lady Di, which I found fascinating, all considering what happens, 10 years later. But yeah, it's about the two of them, about how hard it is to be royalty. So yeah, really kind of a no. Don't really like blues songs. It's kind of a, mannish boy, cheap little ripoff, whatever. Next is a song called Happy Birthday, which is in the style of Tony O'Kay, who is an artist that Weird Al was a big fan of. And it's a happy birthday song, but the lyrics are super, super depressing. Like, hey, the world's dying. We're going to go to war. There's DDT in your water, or all this kind of stuff. Blah, blah, blah. Things horrible. But happy birthday, man. So it's that kind of vibe. An accordion-driven rock. Whatever. Not bad. Stop Dragging My Heart Around, or Stop Dragging My Car Around. Parody of Stop Dragging My Heart Around. He's not trying to sound either like Tom Petty or Stevie Nicks in these vocals. Fun little song, accordion-driven. My Bologna. Yeah, this is a good song. I think this is a good little parody of this. This is one that made the top 10 a lot back in the day on Dr. Demento. For many, many years, if not decades, I would in my mind sing the never gonna stop, eat it up, such a tasty snack, I always eat too much and throw up, butter, my eye. I like that part. Especially the part was, I always eat too much and throw up. Because I would feel that way in restaurants, and then in my mind I'd say, I always eat too much and throw up, and kind of sing that to myself. So this song has lingered in my consciousness, has become part of who I am. It's a part of my DNA. Next is the checks in the mail. He's kind of complaining in general about business practices. Little banjo seeps in there. As far as the song, kind of a hokey country Americana pop type thing. Another one, Rides the Bus. This is the one that was recorded live in the studio with some, other people playing drums and providing like other instrumentation. They do that little weird breakdown in the middle that they do in another one, Bites the Dust. I couldn't even think of what the original song was. They do that weird little breakdown in the middle with everybody kind of making noises and hitting stuff in the studio. It actually works. Another great line. Haven't been in a crowd like this since I went to see The Who. Yeah, we all know what happened to The Who, remember? They had a big crowd, kind of like Astroworld here in Houston. Travis Scott. Yeah, sometimes you don't want to be in big crowds. So that got pretty dark. And then an original song that I actually think works, that actually could almost be a real song. I'll Be Mellow When I'm Dead. This got a lot of play on Dr. Demento. It's almost like the vibe is almost slightly Irish punky, slightly pogsy a little bit, but it's a kind of a rejection of like hippies and yuppies and new age stuff and diets and exercise and all the fads that people were sort of trying to balance out the 70s excesses with, you know. We did all this stuff, you know, the sex, drugs, and rock and roll, but now we need yoga and vegetarianism and all that other stuff. And while I generally live my life on this side, you know, I also have been on this side. I think it's a good song. I think the music kind of works. I think there's some ukulele in here that works. Kind of a good song. Then we got a song called Such a Groovy Guy, which has an upbeat sort of Chucky's in Love. And any song by Weird Al Yankovic, I will mispronounce his name in every video. That's called Such a Groovy Guy. You know he's not a groovy guy. It's kind of cheesy. It's very obviously kind of making fun of a certain type of male. Yeah, a no on this song. And then Mr. Frump and the Iron Lung. It's about a guy who's friends with Mr. Frump, who's in an iron lung. And anytime he asks Mr. Frump a question, I think Weird Al uses the accordion to make like an iron lung like breathing noise, and that's kind of the joke. It's like a really short song. This was in the top 10 back in the day, more often than it probably should have been. But yeah, Mr. Frump and the Iron Lung. So interesting little album. I have to admit, it was fun to go back and listen to this. I don't know how often I would choose to put this on. It's weird to listen to parody music. I do think these are pretty successful parodies. Ricky is a really good I Love Lucy thing. I Love Rocky Road's probably the most straightforward, simplest of them. It's just about the ice cream and buying ice cream cliches. Stop Dragging My Car Around by Getting Your Car Towed. My Bologna, I think, is a win. Another One Rides the Bus is a win. And I'll Be Mellow When I'm Dead. That's the best original song on here. So a strong start for this guy. It's interesting to think that he would make a career out of this and even make a movie out of this. So yeah, that's it. I just wanted to start a little deep dive into Weird Al. Discover what this other stuff is like. There are a number of songs I know, but I'm interested. So, and I'm dedicating this to Dr. Demento because I think he changed my life. I think he made me a different person. I think he brought a darkness to my sense of humor because there were songs that he would play back then that I still think are hilarious. Oh, Dead Puppies. Dead Puppies. I went to one summer, my parents sent my sister and I to one of those stay away summer camps. We did it once. We were not fans. We used to like to travel with my grandparents and do other things. And if I didn't have to go to a summer camp, we were riding our bikes around Southern California, getting into our own trouble. We didn't need to be at a summer camp. But at the end of every week, they had like a talent show. And the camp I was in, like the cabin I was in, the guy who was in charge had this brilliant idea that still sticks with me today. We did the song Dead Puppies, which was, it's a song on Dr. Demento. Dead puppies aren't much fun. And so there were puppies at this camp. It was like a rawhide camp, like a farm camp. And he got permission to use the puppies in our skit. So what we did was we had this like a puppy bed, like a dog bed that was pretty big, and we put like 3 of the puppies on there, and then we lip synced the song. Not all of us, but like 3 or 4 of the guys in the cabin or whatever we were in. I think we were actually in like covered wagons. It's very cowboyish. Not a fan. And they were picking up and petting like the puppies while they lip sync the song, and then they would put one down and pick up another and put one down. So the entire time they're picking up puppies and putting them down. And at the very end of the song, when they say they're not much fun, instead of picking up a puppy, they pick up water balloons and they throw the water balloons down on the ground, and everybody thinks it's puppies, and everybody screamed, and it got a big laugh, and a bunch of people got wet, and it was a big hit. So that was Dr. Demento inspired. My most positive memory of going to that camp, which I actually think might have been called Rawhide, painful, was because of Dr. Demento. So Dr. Demento, thank you. This is for you. Weird Al, thank you for, doing what you do and spreading laughter. But yeah, I'm doing this for Dr. D. But I'm rambling. Thanks for watching. Let me know your thoughts on Weird Al, your Weird Al experiences, all that kind of stuff. Your favorite Dr. Demento song, if you used to listen. My favorite still to this day is Existential Blues by Tom T-Bone Stankus. Still think that's an awesome song. I think it's on YouTube, like a lyric video of it. Existential Blues, Tom T-Bone Stinkus. I love that song as a kid. All right, that's it. I'm done. Thanks for watching. Peace. Talk to you later.